Hey guys, it's LG. I have a 2011 BMW M3 4-liter V8 replacing the fuel tank vent valve, which is also called a fuel tank breather valve. Seems to be a common repair, but I'm going to show you how it's done. This is the easy part. I will not have to go into a lot of detail here. We're taking out the airbox first. Remove your Torx bits. Now we have to get down here and do these clamps. On the coolant tank, remove your two hoses and your two bolts. Right here is your clamp. Just get a pick in here and raise these up. Raise up your steel clamp and then wiggle your line off. Okay, your clamps are raised up. Now, gently wiggle your tubes off. Now go for the bolts, 10 millimeter. Okay, now we get down to the clamps. They're in here. All right, passenger side clamps. The first two are real easy. You'll see them right under the plenum. That's an upper plastic intake plenum. The real intake's below where the clamps are. Just get in there with your 6 mil, just like that. Right over here, the next one. Just like that. To make it a little easier, let's remove this plastic trim. Okay. Now you can see the other one's right in here, and the last one's on the other side. The last one's in there. Okay, people, because the last clamp, like I said, is on the other side of this breather assembly that goes to the upper intake, let's try to take these off here. I have a T30 in my hand. Okay, you need a T30 for these. There's one down here, and then there's one on the other side here. Okay, so this device here actually has 4 screws. 1, 2, 3 is on the upper left, and now I'm on the 4th one. The 4th one, I did them with an air ratchet. Now we're on a little shorty 1/4 inch with the T30, just like that, to get the last one. Last clamp on the driver's side also, just like the passenger side, is the same. The very last clamp in the back uses shorter extension, like a 4 to 5 inch and a 1/4 inch ratchet, and you'll get your clamp right off of there. Okay guys, this is not that big a deal, like I said before, with the hoses and the clamps and all that stuff, but this back convolute tubing is very stuck. What I decided to do is take off these breather PCV devices off the valve cover. They're 4 bolts a piece. Do it on both sides, because I noticed when I took this one off on this side, 4 bolts, you pry the plastic part out, it has O-rings. Now we have a lot more swing. Look at all the swing I have. I could clear the aluminum strut support. See that whole corner is up now. You see that? Got plenty of space. So I'm going to remove it off the driver's side, because I feel that once this is off, I could actually get my hand under here and take off this convolute tubing without breaking anything. Alright guys, I'm back on the driver's side. Once I removed the PCV device out of the valve cover on this M3 V8, I was able to get more room to get my hand in there and break this convolute tube off. And that's your real tough one there. Once you do this, you now could clear these braces that run to your strut towers, okay? And like I said, I did the passenger side first because it gave me the swing I needed, okay? And helped me on the driver's side. That's the worst part of the job, okay? Don't forget on the front of the intake plenum, there's a sensor here with a clamp. Push the steel retainer and wire harness goes straight down. There's one more convolute tubing I almost forgot to mention. It's right under the throttle inlet tube. In other words, the tube that goes to all those little throttle bodies. If you look closely, right here, see that tube? Right in the front, see that? Quick connect right there, right to the base of this intake opening that goes to all those tubes that run to the airbox. So now I'm going to get under here and disconnect this guy, and then I guarantee this thing should flop right out of here. Now in the back, you're going to have to go on this corner and give a real sharp tug upward, which I did already, so this is loose. Now on the passenger side, same thing. This back corner, you got to give a nice tug upward to break it free. Okay, it's loose. Okay guys, once I did what I said with that little tube in the front here where the air inlet is, it really took all the tension off of everything. The tube is right here, as you can see. Okay, that's your tube. Now this thing's ready to come right out of here. So you could just, I'm dragging it out with one hand while I'm filming, so it's a lot easier with two hands. Now you have all your throttle bodies. This is a high performance V8 from BMW. You have 8 individual throttle inlet chambers, which is crazy, but that's how they do it. And now here's your valve, kind of right in the center of the valley to the right, which is the driver's side. It's my right, but it's the left side of the car. And the way they hold this thing in, you have a clamp here. Let me try to get a little detail. All right, so there we go. The clamp in the front, you got to cut it, and they gave me a new squeeze clamp with the new valve. I will install the new clamp and squeeze it. I have a special tool for that. To release it from the engine, if you look underneath here, there's actually a rubber grommet built into the bracketry of the valve, and it slides onto this metal sort of fixture. Okay, so I'm going to pull this forward off of the metal, and then the electrical's got to come off the top, and then there's going to be a hose in the rear. But this one you cut and put the brand new clamp in they give you, and you need a crimp tool or a pair of diagonal cutters, but you got to be very careful not to cut the clamp. This device here that we're trying to replace, the fuel tank breather or fuel tank vent, whatever you want to call it, they call it both, is the culprit, but it's not hard to change once you have the intake off. Here is a quick tour of the bottom of your intake. This is the part on the passenger side with the sensor. You got all your throttle body hookups here. That goes to the vent PCV on the valve cover. On the other side, same thing, but you have this that'll be in the rear. On the driver's side, that's your convolute tubing. You got your throttle ports here, and of course, again, the venting thing for the PCV. Then up front, don't forget this little tube that's gonna hook up to the front of the air inlet. If you do get a new squeeze clamp with your kit, okay, I did. This is the tool that you would need. Okay, it's a very common tool with CV axle joint clamps and stuff, because the squeeze clamp, you're basically going to put it in the jaws of this and tension it just till the hose is tight and does not turn anymore on the nipple of the valve. Very simple. If you can't get one of these, I will say once again, get a fuel injection hose clamp from your local auto parts store. Okay, one quick update. I took the entire valve and the tube assembly out of the vehicle because the valve sits here and the tube runs right around here under the fuel rail and through here, and it hooks up to this plastic tube that's in the fender well on the driver's side by the valve cover. Point is, why did I remove the valve with the tube? Okay, there's a reason. This side is standard, very easy to disconnect, quick connect, and you press right on those serrated areas on both sides. Okay, they're opposed, you know, 180 degrees, so to speak. It's just a big loop. You press those, it comes off. This side is really screwed up, so I bring it out. It's not coming apart. Some people are going to get lucky. My car has over 100,000 miles. Most M3s have low mileage. Well, this area here, okay, where my finger is supposed to be like a serrated, like a washboard. And you push on them tabs, and this is supposed to slide right off. Mine was so stuck that I'm pushing on this area, and apparently the plastic is brittle, 100,000 plus mileage on it. It cracked away. The way I got it out was a pick. You could come in here, okay, rotate the pick, and you'll actually pick up the front part of this lock tab. You'll lift it up, but you could actually hear it click. You have to do it on both sides. And these little windows here with the little barb sticking out, they have nothing to do with unlocking this device. Okay, so let's be clear. Don't play around with those windows. You see this side, the whole damn thing fell out. The quick connect button is gone. But guess what? By using my pick, I was able to get on both sides with two picks and slide it off. It actually clicked right back into the new valve, and it's very secure. I pulled back on it. It's not going anywhere.